A significant issue facing education today is that the system most schools and applications use is based on industrial-era thinking. You see, before the Industrial Revolution of the late 1800s, children who were fortunate enough to receive an education were taught at home, at religious centers, or in small schools with multiple ages all learning together. And because of this, it was much easier to group students by ability rather than by their age. Enter the Industrial Revolution. As the world began moving from an agricultural society to an industrial society, we quickly needed more educated citizens to work in a more sophisticated world. This ushered in the new Prussian model of education. Now, it mirrored the best thinking of that bygone era. Schools were set up like assembly lines. Children were mechanically moved through their education, stopping at each age to get generalized curriculum blasted at them before moving to the next stop on the line. The plus? This model scales. Governments could get more children into schools and education could be more widely disseminated quickly. The minus? Kids aren't cars. They do not all arrive on the line at the same time and in the same state of readiness. They are not singularly aligned and uniform, so this system is inherently inefficient. With our modern lens, we now know that the most effective educational model is not a one-size-fits-all proposition. Age is only one factor to consider. We also need to consider that children learn at different speeds in different subjects at different times. Children can also learn best in various ways, like visually, audibly, or kinesthetically. Some children have to juggle learning differences like ADHD, dyslexia, or autism. Some children, or parents, are second language learners and need translation support. Some children must overcome environmental factors like finding a quiet space to work in, or even getting an adequate meal. Age and stage-based curriculum, what I call assembly line learning, may have been the best idea at the time, but it misses the mark for many students today, especially if they fall toward the bottom or the top of the class in any given subject. This system fails the high achievers who get bored and lose interest without a challenge, but it also fails the lower achievers who fall behind and lose confidence. It fails to capture the nuances of individual learning journeys. A child may be great at understanding math concepts, but do poorly in standardized math because she can't decipher word problems well. While still another child might be an advanced reader, but struggle with organizing his writing. The good news is, we don't need to place children on an unwavering automated assembly line. We have a new understanding of brain science, new tools and technologies that make ability-based or mastery learning at scale possible. All of this means that educational materials can now meet the learners where they are, not vice versa. Leonardo is a new nonlinear approach to learning that emphasizes academic ability over age and stage. Leonardo uses all the best practices developed over the past 100 years or so, but with a speed and an order that adapts to each learner rather than the other way around. Because of this approach, the learner is not frustrated by drilling and killing topics that they're not ready for, nor wasting valuable learning time on topics that they've already mastered. Leonardo is able to understand the child's knowledge holistically and advocates for each of them to avoid gaps in knowledge that can arise later. Taken together, this makes the experience fun and engaging, and it fosters a lifelong love of learning. Leonardo liberates children, parents, and teachers from the assembly line by allowing all different types of students to learn at their own pace. And Leonardo dynamically adjusts every session, just like they do. It encourages kids to take off when they get it, and it provides them with extra support when they need it. How do we do this? Well, it's personal. So check out the next video where we discuss personalized learning.